Spirit 1053, I'm Erica. We've got a star on the show today, a track and field star. But the really cool thing is that she is shining for Jesus. Kimberly Beard, rising senior at King Schools in Shoreline, our sister ministry. We love them. Welcome to the morning show and congratulations. You're having a good life, aren't you?
Yes, thank you so much.
I was just looking up the Washington Hammer State Championship. You won just a few weeks ago the state hammer throw title. What's that like?
It's really fun, and I'm just really glad that hard work is starting to pay off now.
Yeah, I bet. What did that hard work look like?
Lots of hours of practice and getting in the weight room and starting to build more muscle, and we're sacrificing a lot of time and energy to train.
What do you do when you'd rather be out doing something, say, a little more fun than sweating in the weight room? How do you train your mind to go, nope, I'm staying, I'm focused on this goal?
Yeah, I have little reminders, little keychains I've made on my backpack of the goals I want to get to, certain meets, and eventually my end goal is the Olympics. So I have a little Olympic rings on my backpack to help me. I even have pins on my shoes to try to have my mind in that area, when I look down, whatever. So just constantly reminding myself of, where all of this work is going to eventually get me.
I think that's incredible. We need those reminders all the time. I have little positive phrases all around me in the studio, like perfect is boring. That's something that encourages me every single day. Now, you just won this state hammer throw title for somebody who has never heard of the hammer throw, and I just had to Google it. Will you describe the very cool thing that you do?
Yeah, so it's basically a big steel ball that is 4 kilos, which is 8.8 pounds.
Woo.
And a wire, a pretty thick wire that's still very bendy. And then there's a triangular handle on the end of it. For my technique, I do 3 winds around my head and then 4 turns, and then you release it. It's pretty darn fun, I have to say.
It looks so much fun. But I must tell you, I recently went bowling and the bowling ball was 10 pounds. And for the next 2 days, my forearm was like, what did you do to me? How in the world do you build up such strength? My goodness.
Yeah. Well, I've been around the hammer for oh my goodness, how long is it now? Almost 13 to 14 years. I started when I was 5 years old, 4 years old. And so I've built a lot of muscle memory with it too already. I train with heavier balls too that are 5K, or even the heaviest I go is a 16-pounder.
Whoa. What inspired you to pick up the hammer initially when you were that young?
Yeah, so my parents both did track in and out of college, and my dad actually coached my mom in the hammer throw because it wasn't a women's event when she was in college.
Wow.
So she did it post-collegiate. So it's always kind of been in our family. And then my oldest brother, who's 28, when he was in high school, I was only about 4 or 5. And so I would go to practice with him and, be forced to practice. But then my dad made me some smaller implements that would work for me that young. And so I just started picking it up with that, and then I kept doing it, and then eventually really got passionate about it.
Perseverance is a big part of your story, for sure. Were you always throwing things when you were a kid, toys and other things to train?
Probably.
That's so fun. All right, let's talk about the Summer Olympics 2028. Do you know where they're going to be?
LA.
That was very fast. That was a test. I mean, what would that be like if you get the nod? If they're like, you're in, Kimberly.
Yeah, that would be unreal. I feel like that I would be mind blown. My goal for 28 is definitely just to try to make it into the trials and get that experience. So there's another whole meet before the Olympics for the U.S. that you have to qualify. The top 3 who qualify to go to the Olympics. And so the goal would just be make it to the trials and get that experience. But my end goal for Olympic-wise, my first Olympics is 2032, which is in Australia. So that would be super cool.
Yeah, it would. Good luck, mate. What do you say to a kid growing up, maybe in elementary school right now, and they have that dream as well? What's your best advice?
I would definitely say tell other people, because that's something I didn't do until now.
Wow.
I tell a lot of people. I kind of always had it in the back of my mind, but I didn't think it was really possible. I was just that'd be a fun time, But I really started seeing my potential last year. Oh, wow. Okay. If I, get the work done, I can really can really achieve this, but having other people that know that can help you get to that goal, or maybe reach out to people who have already been in the Olympics. And a lot of Olympians are really open to sharing or giving some advice and stuff. And so I would really reach out to people.
I really like that a lot. Tell somebody your dream today. So, Kimberly, you are a senior at King Schools, our sister ministry. Shout out. We love y'all.
Yeah.
How has God used Kings in your life?
Yeah, I started in high school, so my freshman year. I did not want to go to King's. I didn't have any friends really going to King's. All my friends were coming to local schools around me, and so I was really hesitant. But it's a community where even when you're feeling like you don't want to be there, they make you feel like you want to be there.
Wow.
So very open, and I'm just glad that I've had that Christian community to keep me on track.
I see what you did there. Track.
Positive environment to be in.
It's wonderful to hear. Is there a coach who's had an impact on your life, Kimberly?
Well, my father is actually my coach, and he coaches at King's. It's just been really fun to have him alongside with everything. Also Coach Rod, he brings Christ into everything, and that's such a fun new experience, to have a coach who's so inspired and wants everybody. He gets really emotional and starts tearing up at certain things, and so It's really nice to see that.
So his faith comes out by caring about you and being invested in you.
I think he's really passionate to see kids succeed in both their faith and track, but faith first. And I think all the coaches really put Christ first, and it's just a wonderful community.
I'm so excited to hear you talk about your faith. How do you bring your faith into what you do in track and field?
Yeah, all growing up, I was like, okay, there's my faith, and then there's track. But how do I connect these? It's feels like two separate worlds almost, because I was always, trying to how do I do this? But getting a little older and they have bigger meets and stuff, there's a lot of interviews. That's a really good way to try to, share my faith. And then watching Olympians or just big track people who also start sharing their faith on them in interviews and stuff. That's one way, is trying to just give the glory to God through that. And then I openly read my Bible before meets in front of not intentionally in front of other people, but that's how I calm my nerves. And so I've actually had quite a few people ask me about that, and and then other people who have stepped up and also brought their Bibles, and so it's kind of a fun way to do that too.
Wow. I am literally cheering you on. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
We're actually doing a Yes Day here at Spirit 105.3 in August. So I was just going to ask you if you could share the day you said yes to Jesus. What did that look like for you?
I believe I was in second grade, maybe. Me and my mom were curled up on the couch. And I remember asking her, I was like, I want to do that thing everyone said, that prayer. I was like, Mom, can you walk me through that prayer? And then that's kind of all I remember about it. But then in a couple weeks or so, I remember this voice kind of saying this word, just baptism. And I didn't really know what that was at that time. All I heard was that word baptism. And I think it probably kept getting brought up and hearing about it. And then I remember asking my mom about that too. And then eventually I got baptized not too long after that too. It's definitely the start. And then I remember going to Warm Beach camp in fourth and fifth grade. And that was a big, really understanding the faith deeper in a deeper level. That was a big turning point too. I remember that.
Was there a moment at Warm Beach for you, a scene that you picture in your mind?
Oh, yeah. We were singing the song. It was something about made in the image of God. I can't remember exactly the song. That was big. Knowing that we're created in his image. It was child of God. That's what it was. That was really powerful.
Oh, I love that so much. You are absolutely amazing. Final question. This should be pretty easy. What do you love about summer in the PNW?
I love all the the life that comes to with spring and summer, and then just the sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
We had a pretty cold winter this year, so I just love the sun and being on the lake and the water and stuff. And the sunsets are so pretty. Just seeing all his beauty, God's beauty throughout the summer is so fun.
You are amazing. Kimberly, it's so nice to meet you. Come by the station and say hi one day. And congratulations. I even saw the mayor issued a proclamation honoring you, the mayor of Mukilteo.
That was pretty special.
I think you're pretty special. God bless you and your whole family. Thanks for your valuable time today.
Thank you so much.